What's up, Bod Squad? It's Baley
and Blair,
and this is Bodden's Up. Okay, Blair, we're here.
finally.
So, per the request of, all of our community, we have a podcast.
Here we are.
We're here.
Yes.
And obviously we chose the name Bodden's Up because why did we choose the name Bodden's Up?
Well, we like to drink cocktails.
Whoa. Yeah. It's like, I think it actually kind of comes from like the mentality part of like, just go for it. Just let's fucking send it. Like, let's just go for it.
And a deeper meaning, yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like, of course we do love it. We do love a cocktail here and there. But
speaking of,
oh yeah,
our Bodden's Up drink for
our Bodden's Up drink for this
first
episode.
Podcast.
Yep. For this episode is by Ivana.
Uh-huh.
We love them. They've been so good to us. And this is one of my little favorites. I love the grapefruit.
I'm doing pina colada this time.
We're going to get it going tonight. This is probably one of my favorite little go-tos.
Cheers. Cheers.
This is going to be our first release of our first season. So we kind of wanted to just come on and give everybody a little idea of what to expect on the show.
Yes.
And kind of just a little introduction to us if someone doesn't know us. But what we want people to expect from the show is we are going to have some really fun guests come on.
Yeah.
A lot of Nashville locals. We'll have some people from out of town come on.
Do you want to name drop some of them?
This season specifically, we're going to have Victoria Fuller come on, Allie Eklund, Brant Lyons,
Julia Cole, and a couple others. But we're going to do a lot of podcasts with just the two of us with life updates and real estate updates. And so for anyone who doesn't know us, Blair Bodden, Baley and I own a real estate business. I also am an interior designer. Yeah, I'm engaged. I'm getting married in September.
Yeah, you are.
Taking over my life right now.
Yeah.
Just working, sleeping, and planning a wedding. But we're about to start building a beach house.
Yeah.
So that's also consuming outside of our real estate business. I have my Florida license, so I've got Florida clients. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that like follow you specifically, obviously Blair's, and she has an influencing business also along with our real estate business. She's a fashion designer by trade. She literally has, we both have a lot of different hands on a lot of different
avenues,
things.
Jack of all trades. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people can expect to hear from us on this podcast specifically is starting a business, what that looks like.
For sure. We actually did like a Instagram ask us anything if we had a podcast today, and all the questions were about starting a business and becoming an entrepreneur. And so people see that in us, and that's really cool, and they want to know our advice on it. So yeah.
So we're definitely gonna touch on that. And for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Baley. Obviously Blair and I work as a team. Everything we do in real estate, we do together. We recently broke into the developing aspect of the real estate business, and that has been like game changing, so fun. Not that working with our retail clients isn't fun. It is. It's just a different kind of like shifting into another gear in the business as a whole. But we've moved into the building and developing part. And I also am a painter and artist. So I have an art business now.
Yes.
Of course, I can't do anything without turning it into a business. So we have an art business now. And like, for example, next week I'll be going to New York for a month show. That will be announced at this time next week. So I can say that. And yeah, so we just have a lot going on. And so, and with our guests too, we want to have our guests come on, and most of the guests that are going to come on, like almost none of them have a traditional job. Like
true, but also they're all past clients. So you're going to pretty much. Yeah. There's a few that aren't, but probably will be in the future.
Yeah.
But you get to kind of hear their experience of like our business and going through that with us as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think everyone that we've done episodes with have either bought a house with us, are looking for houses with us right now, looking for like potentially building with us, which is a whole
interior
new
design as well.
Yeah, and Blair's done the interiors at their homes, or I've done a painting for them, or you know, in some
way
sort of
we've
way
worked with them too. Yeah.
But
all good friends.
Yeah. Most of them we would prefer to hang out with, otherwise they wouldn't be here. So yeah. But we are gonna have them come on and talk about building their businesses too.
Yeah.
So not only buying real estate and investing in real estate and building like income through real estate, but they're going to come on and talk about building their businesses, talk about and for some reason all of our guests, like most of them are like beautiful women, and they're single and dating in Nashville or
Brant,
wherever they're living.
A beautiful man.
And a beautiful man, a beautiful gay guy. So most of them have been ironically just single and dating, and so that's been a really interesting topic that we've just hit on. Is dating and what it looks like to be in a relationship with people, and it goes kind of in along with relationships with clients as well. So we'll be kind of hitting on all of that. And naturally we go into like, what keeps you hot? Like, what are you doing to stay hot? And that's been a question we've asked everybody, and the answers have been like mind-blowingly different. Have they not?
Yeah.
Like,
it's cool to hear that too, because like even what Baley and I do on a daily, which everybody's always wanting to know what everyone's doing to just learn and change and whatever. But yeah, it's just so different, all of us.
Yeah. Like the question when I'm like, so you're hot, so what are you doing to stay hot? And it is insane. Everybody's doing, and it's just kind of a testament too to like, obviously everybody's different. And so it's like, don't get wrapped up in the Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, do this to lose X amount of weight or do whatever. Everybody is different, and something that works for the girl next to you might not work for you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And it's like, figure out what works for you and just like do that.
Yeah.
But
So we're really just going to touch on everything. Life, business, fashion, traveling, work, entrepreneurship, all of it. So
and
it's going to be fun.
And we hope that obviously, like, naturally we've been selling real estate in Nashville for 10 years, and naturally the conversation is typically like going to, how do I build wealth with real estate? And we're going to do our very best to kind of give examples of what's worked for our clients and what's worked for us, and that's going to be a big part of what we're doing. But we're going to throw in the fun stuff too. So let's hit some of the questions.
So one of the main ones was, how did we get started? Like, where did our entrepreneurial mind and where did it come from? Where did it get started? So, I mean, I can touch on that one immediately.
Go for it.
Well, first of all, our parents always raised us to work for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we would joke, like, you know, everyone has their ups and downs of getting a career started, and not even joking, like, we were just stressed, and we were like, I'm just going to get a 9-to-5. And Mom just put her foot down every time. She was like, you're going to figure your shit out. You're not doing this. No, you're not going to get a 9-to-5.
Because it's going to mess with her social schedule if we had a 9-to-5.
You can't travel to Europe in November for 2 weeks when you have a 9-to-5. Now you can, because you can work from home mostly. But so from the get-go, like, we have been taught to be entrepreneurs, to work for ourselves, to start businesses. And but my personal first experience of it, and I just told Victoria this story the other day. I wanted to get a boob job.
Oh yeah. And but tell them how old you were.
I was 17.
Yeah.
And I was as flat as my back, and I wanted so badly to get a boob job.
It really was like so sad.
It was
sad. Tragic to watch.
And my dad was like, he wasn't not supportive, but he basically was just, if you can come up with half of it, I'll match it and you can get it.
Yeah.
And in no way did he think at 17 years old I would come up with, you know, $4,500 or whatever it was. And I started rhinestoning bras and panties and lingerie sets. I was very obsessed with, what was that show with Hugh Hefner?
Oh, it was
The Girls Next Door.
Yeah, Girls Next Door.
I was obsessed with them.
At
Loved
17.
the show. They had like the little bras and stuff, and I was like, I can do that. So I had my tweezers and my rhinestones, and I was literally putting rhinestones all over these bras and panties. And then I would throw parties at my house where my friends would bring their moms, mom would bring her friends. And there was one party I literally made like $3,000.
Yeah, I remember. I remember vividly.
And I handed it all over to Dad, and I was like, here you go. And in
like,
November
what the fuck?
of my 17th year, before I turned 18, I booked my boob job and I got it done.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't go get a job or anything. I just took it upon myself to
Come up with
to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
So I would say that's where it started for me.
Yeah. Golly, I don't know where my entrepreneurship started. I would have to say probably, like, I feel like I've always been able to like go get a job. Like I remember in college, like even in high school, we were always like working at Dad's restaurant or I was at Mom's office, like doing stuff for her, like and Dara and whoever was there, Renee or whatever. And my mom actually owns our mortgage company. So for anyone who doesn't know kind of our family dynamic, we have a very big family. There's like 12 of us. We always spend time together. And Blair and I and my grandmother work as realtors, and my grandmother's our broker, and the three of us kind of operate the sales side of it. And my mom owns the mortgage company. My aunt owns the title company, and my other aunt owns a title company. So they both have them. And like our cousin Lakin, who will be a guest at some point, does appraisals. And our dad is a builder. So everybody works in the real estate realm. But I remember vividly like, going to work with Mom at her office and just kind of like wanting to learn all the different ways to operate in her business. I think that's where I've always kind of been interested, is like, let me explore all the avenues in which I can like create an income with this and then figure out what's going to work best for me.
Yeah.
And I think I was always good at like having a job. I remember in college, like I worked with Red Bull as their like brand manager.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like I always liked having. I remember like I was in college and I would, obviously our mom and dad supported us while we were in college, sure. But I always wanted to have spending money. Yeah. And I remember like Dad had access to my account and I was working for Red Bull, getting like $250 a week. Like, not, I mean, even in college, I mean, now that would go nowhere in Tuscaloosa. But at the time, it was like, I would be at Dollar Tequila night on Monday nights, picking up a round of shots for the entire bar. And Dad would be like, how in the fuck did you spend $100 at Dollar Tequila night? And I'm like, Dad, I had to buy a round for the bar. He's like, that's insane. But I always wanted to have like spending money. Yeah. So I worked at Chuck's, Red Bull. Like I just remember like the hustle was never like an issue, I guess. Yeah. And I would, wake up at 6 a.m., stay out till 3 a.m. Like definitely put like my body and my mind through the ringer. No question. Yeah. I think everybody at Alabama did that. But for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean, I feel like as far as like entrepreneurially, like I think the hustle is just kind of embedded in us. Like Mom and Dad, and they've always worked for themselves. And I just feel like that's been kind of the like, I don't know anything different. Yeah. So like going to work for someone would be almost like foreign. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't imagine us doing that at this point. No. But I say that if it was the right situation, maybe I would. But it's like, no, I just have no interest because like I get to pick up on, this coming week and go to New York and show my artwork for a month and then I'll come back and we'll close deals. And it's just kind of wherever the wind blows us. Yeah. So, yeah. I think entrepreneurially, like, if anyone is like thinking about starting a business, setting yourself up with a nest egg before exiting a job,
right,
is the one thing I tell our agents.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the one thing. Like, don't quit your job that provides your living before, like,
getting your new
income like really going
off the ground.
Yeah, because people get into real estate all the time and they'll quit their job and they think they're going to close 10 deals their first month, and it's like it's so unrealistic that, like, I'm pretty sure the statistic now is like 90% of people don't make it out of real estate their first year.
Right.
I don't know if that's true, but
I mean, I believe it in this city.
Yeah, because
it's so saturated.
Yeah, it's so competitive.
There's so many agents.
I mean, I think we've brought in alone, at one point our brokerage had 60 agents. Half of them were women in their 20s coming into this business, and we trained them from the ground up. And, you know, they're all still working, a lot of them are still working in real estate. Yeah. But it was definitely like, it was an opportunity to bring people into the business and give them a chance to make a living doing something we have loved doing for such a long time. But it's like, it's so important to make sure you have your nest egg, because I don't know anybody that can go into the real estate business and operate in a way that works, that doesn't feel like desperate, and that doesn't feel like you're really struggling to the client if you don't have a nest egg.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does. 100%. I've seen so many people come into this business, and you also need to, like, know why you're getting into the business.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't even enjoy real estate or working in it,
sure,
like, you're not going to build a successful business in it.
Yeah.
I think people think it's like an easy job and easy to get off the ground, and then, you know, personally, I didn't close my first deal until 6 months into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was out here. Yeah. I was at Tin Roof looking for clients. I was like, I was going, I mean,
a lot of our first clients came from Tin Roof, which is crazy.
Which, this is a whole other probably episode to get into it. But Baley and I actually opened a restaurant.
Actually, that's what we should touch on entrepreneurially.
Well, yeah. But I mean, there's so many things that went into that, like our purpose behind it and what it actually ended up being was very different.
Sure.
And we were way early for this market, and you know, it was great. Mom calls it our
business school,
our
like,
master degree.
She's like, if I paid for a business school, this was it. Like,
yes. We learned a lot, and it was an experience.
Tell them what it was.
Well, okay. So initially it had started out to be a very small bar, bakery, like cutesy, with a clothing boutique where I could design and make clothes and sell them. It quickly turned into a full restaurant and bar in the Gulch with a 500 square foot clothing boutique that was all curated, other designers,
brands,
other brands. I did all the buying though, so I mean, it was beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
great
brands.
Again, it was very early for the area. The Gulch was nowhere where it is now.
There was nothing there. It was just Bar Louie, Icon, where we lived.
No, Bar Louie wasn't even done yet.
Yeah, Bar Louie was opening after we had opened.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, if you were here in 2012, like, to give some background to it too, we couldn't get the liquor license. I went to go get the liquor license,
I forget about that.
and I was 20 years old, and they go, ma'am, we cannot give you a liquor license. You are not
21
legal to buy alcohol. We're not giving you a liquor license. So we're opening this bar fresh out of college. I graduated a year early to get back to Nashville and open this bar with Blair and Mom. And yeah, I mean, I think that is another learning, is like, if you have an intention to do something, it's like, keep your plan within the lines and, like, execute within the lines of what it is. I mean, obviously, like, you want to give things room to grow and go where they need to go, but, like, I think that venture would have worked.
I know.
You making clothes like fucking Coco Chanel in that space with some cupcakes and you know, some wine being served, it's like no brainer.
Yeah.
Like it now, I think it would still be there.
I agree. I think it was like such a cool concept. I lived in New York during college. I did an internship. And I got all these ideas because obviously New York is very much more advanced.
For sure.
And, you know, went to a lot of places, and a lot of those places had that kind of concept.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring it to Nashville. And yeah, I think it would still be here.
Me too.
If we had done it now, people would have loved it.
Oh, I mean,
loved it.
I think if you think we should open this, put it in the comments. I think we should. I try to get Blair designing all the time now.
Well, design, and I think that it's maybe like subconsciously, like it kind of ruined designing for me.
Yeah.
In some sense. Like I loved it so much through college and making clothes, and it was just, it's all I wanted to do. And I think it was almost a thing that took that away from me.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like I went to doing that instead of what I really wanted to do. And then it became like a resentment situation where I didn't enjoy it anymore.
and that's what I mean by like keeping it within the lines, is like that's the biggest, like, because ultimately like the failure of that business, and I say failure, I mean, I think because I think it's, I don't mean failure in the terms of like in like a negative light. I think it was a really positive thing. Like I think we learned more in that 2-year span.
Absolutely.
Like we learned how to manage people, create schedules that work,
do a business plan in general.
business plans in general, go get the funding, get the
Yeah.
partnership for it. Shout out to Chris, we love him. And you know, there were so many things that went into it that we learned how to do, and like, and also the hard lessons, like how to be stolen from.
Yeah.
Like how to be blatantly stolen from, and like, and have people like right under your nose doing things like that you're like point blank asking them not to do, and just really understanding the psychology of a human being. And when someone comes in and they are unhappy with the food, like it's such a humbling experience to work in hospitality. Like it's like 10 out of 10, a top recommendation of mine would be to go work in hospitality, to truly appreciate like every experience you're going to have at a restaurant, at a hotel, or wherever you're going.
Yeah.
It's like, because there's really,
and how to treat people.
and how to treat people. I mean, it's so humbling to work in the field. And like, of course, like we have a ton of friends that are still doing it, but I mean, it's so many lessons, good ones, bad ones. Like it was amazing, but a heartbreak, like all in the same like breath. Yeah. And I remember we closed that business.
Also a relief. I'll say that.
That's what I was gonna say. I said we closed Cocktails and Couture in 2014.
We threw a party.
I moved.
We were exhausted. I gotta tell you,
we were so tired. Like I remember being so like my ego was so like humiliated
bruised,
by
yeah.
it that I packed my bags. I moved to Tampa.
Tampa.
I went to my mom's best friends, to Dara's, and I remember I slept for like a month.
Literally.
Because the hours of running that restaurant, because we didn't have the funding to like hire management, I remember we hired a manager here and there and a chef here and there, and it was like, and the last chef we ended with, Lewis, like he was remarkable. Like if we had him from the beginning, I think it would have been so different.
I agree.
But by the time he got there, it was so far gone.
It was a money pit.
It was a
sure.
money pit.
Mm-hmm.
And so
every dollar we made was just going right back into it.
And that's normal.
No, it is.
Yeah, like that's a normal entrepreneurial like spirit just in general.
Sure. But it was also like hiring the $50,000 salary a year manager, like probably shouldn't have done that.
Well, shouldn't have done that. We should have focused on a because it was so crazy. Lewis ended up being like management. Like he ended up being a partner with us that gave us, because it wasn't that we didn't want to be there. It was just when we were there, it was so exhausting. And we would get there at 7 a.m. to receive food orders. And then we would close the doors at 2 a.m. And in between that, we would go to Bar Louie to get a drink to come down from the chaos of it.
Yeah.
And then by the time it was just, by the end of the 2 years, like our bodies and our minds, like it had just taken such a toll.
Yeah.
And
we really
so-
weren't taking care of ourselves either.
we were making
at
opening a
all.
restaurant sound so awful.
I mean,
But I mean,
we were 21 and 22 years old.
It's
like
not
we
for the
had
faint of
no business doing that
Yeah.
at that age. Like,
yeah.
not to take anything away from anyone that wants to do that. Like, if you know what you're doing and you feel confident, like I can genuinely say, like, I learned as we went. Like,
yeah.
I had no idea what we were doing.
Well, if we had to go open a restaurant today, we would crush.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my
like
gosh,
after,
absolutely.
And honestly, if we had like one more funding thing, I think we probably could have wrapped our hands around it. But honestly, I just don't feel like it was God's calling for us at
no.
all.
No.
Like I think
Not our dad either.
No. And I mean it was really hard for our mom and dad. Like my mom is like definitely like a pusher forward. Like she was like, we're gonna figure it out. And my dad, like you could just tell his heart like broke from just the actual like agony we were in because it just wasn't working for us. So, but I do think if we went back
Yeah.
and we did the original idea of your designing
Yeah.
with a freaking coffee shop,
Maybe
some
we will,
croissants
Bailey.
and some and like a little bar. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the Gulch is
TBD.
calling. Yeah, no.
Actually, I think I'd be putting in Wedgwood, Houston.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've got to stop talking about Wedgwood
I
Houston.
know. We
because,
sound like we're
yeah, like we're Wedgwood,
steering people
yeah, we're
to
Wedgwood
Houston.
Houston cult following. But no, like definitely that could be in the cards. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe.
What's another question? Yeah.
Someone asked what our current projects are,
Oh, okay.
what we're working on.
Yep.
Which I already kind of touched on, but right now, me actively, I'm working on designing and starting our beach house, which is going to be down in 30A. It's going to be something.
Something.
It's 10,000 square feet on one floor.
Yeah.
And the goal of it and the intention behind it is to kind of bring a wedding venue to the 30A area, because personally, when I was looking at wedding venues and we were trying to decide where we were going to go, I struggled. Like I kind of wanted to go down there and maybe make that work just because it's so beautiful. Like we love spending time there. A lot of Kevin's family hasn't been there, and it would have just been like a fun place to do it. But there is really like nowhere to do even a rehearsal dinner because all the restaurants are very small. And so yeah, that it kind of became the intention behind it to be like this rental for corporate companies and weddings.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's what I'm working on right now.
yeah. And well, we adjusted the renderings a little bit, and it's going to be, what is it, 10 bedrooms?
No, I think it's 9 bedrooms, 9 and
With
a
the
half
porte-cochere.
baths, or 8 bedrooms, 9
Yeah.
and a half baths.
Yeah.
But there's like a bunk room, and we're doing like a golf simulator room, movie theater.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
stacked.
Yeah.
It's gonna have like a commercial kitchen, so like really great for catering and stuff like that. And so yeah.
Yeah, there's
gonna be
literally
amazing.
nothing down in 38 for that. Like,
Yeah.
or even just like a huge group. Like, if you were coming down there to get married on the beach and you wanted like 30 people to stay all in the house. Like,
Well, that's not like, I don't want to speak. I haven't tried to book one for a huge group on the beach, but I would think it would be like 50, 60 grand.
yeah, for sure.
Just to like house everyone. And it's not set up for like big group events.
No.
Like they're usually like tall,
Just a tall and skinny with a pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is going to be a house where you can cover the pool, do a rehearsal dinner.
You
do
could
a
really do a
reception.
small wedding too.
You could do a small wedding
Yeah.
there. It's going to be stunning.
Beautiful.
So stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mom and I are designing it. So
It's really going to be
expect
stunning.
neutrals and stunning.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Like
Yeah.
the renderings are coming together. We should be underground with that, or underway
In the
with
next
that
few months.
in the next few
Yeah.
months. Yeah. And of course, like we have So I have a house in Wedgwood, Houston. We just finished building 2 houses across the street from mine.
Mm-hmm.
I initially had bought it in 2020.
It was during COVID.
Yeah, 2020. From our friend Mitchell, and I bought it to tear it down almost immediately and build houses there, but it's like been 5 years and I fell in love with this house. Everyone's heartbroken it's gonna come down because I have the house and then my studio in the back. So I paint in the back. It was a music studio that Mitchell used to work in, and I kind of transformed it into somewhere to paint. And so that kind of birthed my art business.
Yeah.
But literally, yeah.
Yeah.
But so we're planning to tear that down.
Sad day.
Sadly, I don't want to.
We will still have a party for that though.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a demo party.
It's gonna be sad, but
message us.
It's gonna be a party.
It's gonna be a party. Message us on Instagram or YouTube or whatever you're listening to this on. Message us and let us know if you want to come to my demolition party.
Demo party.
You can come cry with me. There'll be tequila. So we're gonna tear that down and start building 2 more houses there.
Mm-hmm.
And right now,
kind of same thing we just did across the street.
Yeah,
but
a little smaller.
I think we're gonna get smaller, better price point for the area, and maybe get a little more like European feel to it.
My sketches
like Parisian.
My sketches for the exterior are sick. I don't know if they're gonna get through the process with Mom and Blair. I'm sure they'll be completely different by then. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. We go to pick out finishes with the 3 of us, and then by the time the 2 of them are done auditing,
it's completely different.
So, but we are gonna do that.
We're also about to start a renovation project for a client. Victoria's house that she's buying.
Yeah.
So,
and you guys will hear more about that when she comes on too.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about that with
and
her.
we'll probably bring her on a few times to give updates and
on her process.
See where we're at.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting project
for sure,
but also fun.
So we'll do one more question and then we will wrap up.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last question that wasn't like entrepreneurial, one girl messaged me and she's like, I want to hear about dating in Nashville or like y'all's love lives. And I laughed because I was like, what dating in Nashville? Like, that's not true. I am dating
out here.
Well, it's just funny because for the first time, like Blair and I are in like way different seasons.
Yeah.
And romantically, I mean, because both of us typically date guys like we're just never going to marry. We'll say it.
The track record is not great.
We'll say it as kindly as that.
Yeah.
So right now, Blair's engaged.
I am engaged.
We are planning a wedding at the Plaza in New York. It's going to be stunning.
Yes.
And I am going to New York
to hopefully find Prince Charming.
Well, I wouldn't even go there. I don't know if the dating scene is any more hopeful there, but
you never know. There's a lot more people there than in Nashville.
That's true. Yeah. But no, a lot of the people that have come on to talk with us, it's really, I feel like there's such like a disconnect of like masculine and feminine roles in the world right now. And I think I'm just like honestly trying to navigate that.
Yeah.
And I will talk more about this with a couple. Well, pretty much like I said earlier, all of the guests that have been on are single except for Brant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I think the common theme is that frustration. So I'm really interested to hear like more from them and their takes on what that looks like.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So we'll get it. We'll delve into it.
Yes.
And I'll keep you guys in the loop if anyone special comes
keep
into
an open
the mix.
mind, Baley.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely open to dating. I hear all these horror stories from my girlfriends that are like, oh my gosh, just like the craziest dating stories. And I don't have like bad dates. I don't have like bad experiences with guys. Like I feel like I either hit it off with them or I don't, but I'm always like having a good time. And I can't really say that it's been like tough.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Well, you're not hanging out at the wrong places, really, I would say.
Yeah, like
I'm
I'm not going
wrong places, but places I wouldn't be looking for my husband.
Yeah, like but I think like I'm not going to Broadway to go find a guy to go out with. So like I'm going to meet guys that
going to the Halls bar.
Yeah, going to Halls, going to a hotel bar, hanging out at workout classes, church. Like we're meeting guys at really nice guys. Yeah. So it's not like whatever. But so. Yeah. I'll keep you all in the loop. It's we'll have we'll have some dating stories for you, I'm sure, but I won't,
especially after New York, I hope.
Yeah. I won't dive into it too much, but Okay. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. We're gonna have the best time with y'all, and our first season here, it's gonna be 8 to 10 episodes. We're gonna bring on some guests and have some fun and some drinks, and Bodden's up.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, sister.